What's up everyone? Josh here from Hyperlite Mountain Gear. Today, we're gonna talk about the Mid 1. This tent's great for thru-hikers, ultralight hikers in general, bike packers, pack rafters, really anyone who's looking for an ultralight option for just them. So to keep this tent as light as possible, we used our DCF5 for the fly, DCF10 for the floor, and ultralight no-seam mesh netting to keep the bugs out. Shadow black fly season in May, June. If you're familiar with our tents already, you'll notice that we stuck with our tried and true mid design, both for stormworthiness and to minimize weight as much as possible. The mid design for this tent is particularly nice for people like myself who only carry one trekking pole. Gotta have another hand free. On this tent, we used number 3 YKK waterproof zippers. We have 7 perimeter tie-out points around the tent, so you can pitch this tent with 4 stakes, but if you're gonna hit any inclement weather, we recommend a minimum of 6 stakes. We opted for these line lock clips for the doors. These provide additional modularity, meaning you can have one or the other door open, or if you want to, you can have both. ASMR. And that leads to the next feature, which are our magnetic door toggles. The magnets are a small detail, but they really do make your life a lot easier, especially when you're tired on trail and just trying to get to bed. We have 1 apex tie-out point. While this tent pitches well with just these 2 stakes out, if you're in any more inclement weather, higher winds, and you want just some more structural stability, you can attach an additional guy line to this, down to your stake there, and that'll just give you that extra structure you might be looking for. We opted for 2 peak vents, one on each side of the shelter to help promote airflow and mitigate condensation. Additionally, on the sides of the shelter, we have 4 center panel tie-out points. These are great for mitigating wind deflection. We also added these 1/8" shock cords to each one of these. Altogether, these weigh about 0.14 ounces. So if you're willing to save or want to save that, you can just cut them right off or untie them. However, we do recommend you keep these on. These mitigate the amount of stress on the panel itself and overall just lengthen the life of your shelter. You'll also notice that we chose reflective accents for all of our tie-outs. These are great for when you wake up in the middle of the night, gotta go to the bathroom, and you're stumbling back. Now you can see the tent. We also added a pole retaining strap here just to keep your bathtub tight to the pole and prevent any weird flapping in the wind. Now that we've gone over the outside of the tent, let's get in there. First thing first, we have a mesh door toggle here. Now you can see I'm in the tent. Bathtub on this measures 7 inches tall, 96 inches long, 32 inches wide. For reference, I'm 5'9", and have plenty of room in here even with 20-degree quilt. You also have a quick access storage pocket, super accessible even from inside or outside the tent. The back and side bathtub walls on this tent are actually adjustable. If you're in inclement weather, you can cinch these up to protect yourself more from the elements. If it's a hot night, you can loosen these up and increase airflow. All right, so that's the Mid 1. It's a great option for solo sleepers. I'm gonna close this bad boy up and pretend I'm outside sleeping.
Every company has an origin story, and the Hexamid tent is part of ours. Originally tested by our founder Joe on a CDT thru-hike, this ultralight 6-sided pyramid shelter helped protect him all the way from Canada to Mexico, becoming the first DCF tent to complete a thru-hike. With a design that predates even our days in the garage, this is the ultralight tent that helped define who we are. Hey everybody, Mateo here from Zpacks, and this is the Hexamid tent. The Hexamid tent is the perfect tent for average-sized solo hikers looking for an ultralight and modular setup. The Hexamid is constructed from Dyneema composite fabric and features tape seams to keep water out. The Hexamid pitches by inserting a single trekking pole adjusted to 52 inches at the peak. A 52-inch tent pole is available for purchase for those with poles that will not extend to that length. 6 stakes are required for this tent, with 10 stakes recommended for a taut pitch in windy conditions. Stakes are not included, but we have a variety of ultralight stakes to choose from. The Hexamid features dual storm doors that can be opened or closed independently. Leave them open on a nice night for a breeze and great views. Close the upwind door to block cold wind, or close both for 360-degree rain protection. The doors can be closed with a custom-made metal hook. The canopy overhangs the front of the tent by 4 to 5 inches. In calm rain or under wet trees, the doors can be left open for airflow without water dripping inside the tent. The Hexamid is a floorless shelter with screen around the perimeter. It must be used in conjunction with an optional bathtub ground sheet or a bivvy for groundwater protection. The entry features a vertical zipper that unzips all the way to the middle of the floor, while also minimizing the ability for mosquitoes to get inside. The screen can also be secured open on either side with integrated toggles. Our optional bathtub ground sheet is made from 0.75 ounce per square yard Dyneema composite fabric, and the tent includes internal adjustable hooks. Attach the optional bathtub ground sheet in the tent corners to keep it centered, and at the front and rear to keep the walls elevated from groundwater and rain spray. Unhook and remove the bathtub ground sheet to cowboy camp under the stars, or to dry out faster. All tie-outs on the Hexamid feature line lock V adjusters and bright yellow 1.3mm Z-line guidelines, allowing you to lock in the perfect pitch. The Hexamid packs down small and the provided medium DCF stuff sack. That covers all the features and benefits of the Hexamid tent. For more information, click the link in the corner or in the description below. If you have any additional questions, please leave a comment or reach out to us at zpacks.com. Don't forget to hit subscribe to stay up to date on the latest product information, gear overviews, and our upcoming adventures. Until then, see you outside.
Hi, I'm Glenn from Gossamer Gear, here to show you how to set up your new Whisper tent. I designed this tent for a 2021 1,000-mile bikepacking trip on the Great Divide, where I needed some bug protection. If you don't use trekking poles or are on a bikepacking trip, then we make segmented poles that are specifically sized for the Whisper tent. With trekking poles, take your Light Trek 5s and reduce one of them all the way down, and then set the other one to 130. Pick your stakes according to the location that you're setting up. I normally just use a couple of titanium V stakes for the main tie out and some carbon fiber stakes otherwise, but since we're in sand today, I went big. So take the tent and locate the toe of the tent, which would be the smaller end. Take your short pole and insert it into the top of the rear hood. Stake out the two rear corners. And don't worry too much about it because you're going to adjust them again at the end. And stake out the rear tie line. This allows you to keep some tension on the tent as you move to the top. Put the tip of the longer pole into the grommet. If you're using a basket, do not do that. Turn around and actually use the head because the basket will damage the fabric, but it sets up better. It's designed for the tip to go into the grommet. Make sure it gets in the grommet so it doesn't go through the shelter. Then set the pole up vertically and take the main tie out with the tensioner on it and stake it in. Then to give yourself a little more room internally, instead of vertical, move it about 6 inches towards you and then about 6 inches towards the head, which will loosen it up, but then you're going to tighten it up by staking out the vestibule. Then go around to the back, stake out the line closest to the head of the shelter, and then stake out the next one on the back. Once you're all set up, you can use the rear tensioner to tighten the ridge line, and then if necessary, adjust the two rear stakes to take the wrinkles out. You can go around and tighten some of the other tensioners. Once you have your shelter set up, it's time to put your floor in. To save weight, the Whisper is a floorless shelter, so you add the floor. If you want to furl it, there is an option to do that. And then take a ground cloth. This is a polycryl that I've trimmed to fit, and just put it inside the shelter. Weight it down with little rocks or your shoes or water bottle, whatever you have. Then you're ready for a cozy night.
Introducing the Hexamid Pro 1. It's our super light version of the Hexamid 1 tent. With this tent, we've combined our weight-efficient and storm-worthy Hexamid geometry with Dyneema composite fabrics to cut the weight to just 16 ounces, 1 pound. What's remarkable about this tent isn't simply that it's super light, but that it's super light while also being an incredible tent. It is literally one of the most spacious one-person tents on the market. It's incredibly robust, protective, and stormworthy. It's also incredibly simple to pitch and highly user-friendly. Let's check it out. While many tents are conceived in a design studio, the Hexamid originated in tough, real-world conditions from a desire to have a spacious and stormworthy tent that just works. That means every aspect of the tent has been carefully designed to be as user-friendly as possible. That starts with the same simple 4-stake pitch that the Hexamid tents are known for and which allows you to get sheltered quickly when a storm is rolling in or you're tired at the end of a long day. The pitch is as simple as staking out a rectangle and extending the 2 poles until they're taut. There's no measuring poles, estimating distances or odd angles, and no mandatory guidelines. The Hexamid Pro 1 also fits into smaller sites with its compact 98 by 63 inch footprint. Once the tent is set up, the eye for user-friendliness continues with one-handed operating zippers on the fly and inner, one-handed magnetic door toggles on the fly, doorways that aren't blocked by trekking poles, and an easy reach to close the fly doors so you aren't stretching out into the vestibule to close things up. Inside there are dual interior pockets to stay organized, and a tension floor which is unheard of on a tent this light, yet helpful as it remains wrinkle-free and resistant to sliding around. Even when the tent is packed up, the Hexamid Pro 1 is a delight to use, as it has the smallest pack size of any one-person DCF tent, and its short shape means that it can store horizontally in any pack. The Hexamid Pro 1 is one of the most spacious one-person tents on the market, thanks to the Hexamid geometry which positions the 2 poles further apart to maximize the volume possible from 2 hiking poles. While other trekking pole tents are small or use struts and guy lines to increase space, the Hexamid creates best-in-class interior volume through efficient geometry that doesn't add weight and complexity. The result is more headroom and interior volume than any comparable tent. You can sit up anywhere throughout the length of the floor, and 2 people can easily sit up in the tent together. The floor width is a generous 32 inches, while the floor length is an excellent 90 inches, all of which is highly usable thanks to the steep end walls. The result is a tent that is suitable for people up to 6'8", while shorter people will have extra length at the ends they can use for gear storage. Also noteworthy are the dual vestibules, which are not only a generous size, but conveniently place the main area beside the doorway instead of blocking it, so you can easily store a pack while being able to get in and out of the tent. Another standout aspect of the Hexamid Pro 1 is the stormworthiness. A 1-pound tent usually means that it's tiny or more of a fair weather shelter. With the Hexamid Pro 1 we save weight instead with efficient design and advanced Dyneema materials so we can make it more capable for rough conditions. Unlike other tents at the 1-pound mark, the Hexamid Pro 1 has a full coverage fly that can extend low to the ground to block drafts and rain splatter, while also allowing a higher pitch to boost ventilation. Other features found in the Hexamid Pro 1, but otherwise unheard of at the 1-pound mark, are dual peak vents which are important for minimizing condensation, and dual zipper doorways which provide greater protection and structural rigidity than clip systems. The Hexamid Pro 1 effectively sheds wind and snow with ultra-strong and waterproof Dyneema composite fabric, and can be solidly reinforced for storms with up to 12 stakes around the base and optional guidelines on the side panels and peaks. Thanks for checking out the Hexamid Pro 1. It really is the complete package. It's got remarkable stormworthiness, more so than many tents weighing 3 or 4 times as much. It's one of the most spacious one-person tents on the market, and it's incredibly simple and easy to use. To get all this in a package weighing just 1 pound with top build quality is what makes it the best one-person tent for your adventures. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you on the trail.
sorry. I was like, what is he trying to